Hey guys, how's it going? I am Todd, or Chuckles, or Arrowhead, depending on where you'd see me from. And today we are taking a look at each of 8 starters from the Big 12 quarterbacks. Each one of these have started multiple games, I do believe. Yeah, all of these ones have started except for Devin Dampier in Big 12. And we'll start with Joshua Hoover, who, by the way, has been quarterback for now. He started in 2023, and he started every game but one, I believe, in 2024. Um, I expect big things from this guy. Josh, he lit up BYU in his first game he played against them. Since then, he has been lighting up the scoreboards. Not the best rusher apparently, but big, big arm, and that's massive for this, for TCU. Basically, that's your TCU's whole game plan. Uh, was on him, and he is considerably probably my number 3 in the Big 12 right now. Um, he, I think he's set to have a good year. I do want to look at their game, at what they have. Uh, TCU coming up. So they played North Carolina, then Abilene Christian. That game could be fun. Against SMU. Pretty sure that has a name. Um, they're it's like the frying pan or something. Um, but that should be a good game. Then they play Arizona State, which also will be a really good game to open up conference play. I think I have TCU as a projected dark horse for the Big 12. So I think they could do a really good job. Then they have Colorado. Colorado at that time will be coming off a bye, probably, I do believe. Or they're coming off a bye. They might be coming off a bye. When is it? Yeah, they'll be coming off a bye against Colorado. Cause yeah, wow. So yeah, they'll be coming off a bye, and then Colorado will have a bye against, or not. Okay, wow. Colorado kind of gets Rick and have a lot of games early on. So yeah, I think that one could be a good game. Um, Honestly, all of these could be a good game, but they play a lot of defense-heavy teams like BYU, Houston. I assume Colorado's gonna be better on defense. Baylor was kind of a liability on defense last year at times. But then they were also really good last year on times. Arizona State is going to be good on defense. They're going to have to play better defense against SMU than they did last year. Last year, let's look. Because last year, I think they got walloped. That's right. 66-42. And you you had a whole bunch from Hoover. I do believe Hoover got hurt in the Baylor game. That's why the numbers went down. So you're going to kind of want to watch that. Make sure he's not trying to do everything he has to do everything. That would probably be the best bet. Um, but like I said, if they can keep him healthy, he's he's already passed for 3,900 yards. I expect him to be well over 4,000. I expect them to have a bit more of a rain game than they had. So honestly, I think if he could keep up those numbers, they're going to be bowl eligible. But you're going to want those numbers down and the running game up a bit higher. Because last year, they only had their passing game. Kind of like, uh, kind of like Colorado last year. They did not have a running game whatsoever. I think we can even look at their overall running stats here real quick. Um, mm, yeah. Let's go to uh, team. Yeah. So first, okay. All right, rushing attempts 400 to rushing yards. You're averaging about 3.1, 3.7, sorry, per rush. That's an average of first down if you run it 3 times. But you're going to need a bit more production than that from the running game if you want to have a lot of success. And I think they will. I think they got a pretty good running back in the long run. And then I think they have really good receivers as well. Brandon Swordsby. This guy was definitely considered one of the top last year. Just because he did not turn over the ball much last year. He also didn't pass it a lot. When you lose like they did, yeah, it was a hard year for Cincinnati in the long run. But I think a bounce back year for Brandon Swordsby is definitely um in the script. Or they're probably wasting his talent. I'm not gonna lie. Because I think he's really good. I think Cincinnati is going to be a bowl team this year, but yeah, it's definitely one. If Brandon Swordsby can have a good year, they're going to be relying highly on him to have a good year. Uh, Avery Johnson. I've been eye on this guy all year long. Like throughout his career, he's been really good. He had a bad stretch during the Houston ASU Iowa State run. In losses, he's been about average. You can look at, against at Houston, he threw 2 interceptions. At AS home against ASU, he threw 2 interceptions. But then at Iowa State, he didn't throw any. So it's like, although he also threw 2 at BYU. In their losses, he threw 1, 2, 2, 4, 6 of his 10 interceptions. He threw them. Um, but he also is very good on his feet and running the ball. So I think if he's running the ball well, he can be really good. I think he is going to be a good player all season long. We will go more into the Nets 2 quarterbacks and later on this week when I look at the game. Because he's playing against Iowa State this week. So we're going to look at that game and talk a bit about it, but not, but yeah, we'll get there. Rockdo Beck. This guy's going to sophomore year, redshirt sophomore year. He was a freshman, redshirt freshman last year. Was he? No, he wasn't. What? Oh, he was. Okay, so yeah, he's going into junior year. Sorry. his redshirt junior year, and he is going to, I think, be really good this year. Last year, as you could tell, he lit up scoreboards pretty well. Um, I think Iowa State is going to be primarily a defensive team. He did lose two wide receivers that were NFL caliber wide receivers. That's going to be big because those those guys really do help you along. Um, I have him as one of my top three quarterbacks heading into the season. Um, him, Sawyer Robertson, and then a guy we're going to talk about tomorrow. Uh, and then Josh Huber is very close fourth with Avery Johnson sitting around fifth or sixth. Um, but this, the Big 12, it's such a stacked quarterback thing that even if BYU's quarterback was coming, I wouldn't have him in the top 10. So, like, yeah, they're so good. So good. But Rato Beck definitely deserves to be highly rated. Brendan Morton. This guy, we didn't see Texas Tech last year. We see them this year, and I would have rather see them last year. I'm not gonna lie, but we're excited to face him. Um, and I think he's a really good quarterback. I watched a bit of him. He's very on and off. But also he's gonna have a 10 times better team around him. If they don't do good this year, it is Joey. What's his buckets? Joey. It's the coach. It's do or die season, basically. All right, Devin Dampier. I don't know. I don't know what to think about because that scares me. And I'm a BYU fan, and I just know when teams in Utah turn the ball over a lot, you're going to lose games. That's just how it works. You're going to lose games. Utah has a billion times better offensive line than New Mexico, where Devin Dampier is from. Um, we're going to see if he's going to do good. He had a great season last year, besides the turnover interception margin. Actually, I kind of want to go and look at what it looked like, because it looked like he, yeah. Let's see y'all real quick. So, in the first four games, he threw 6. Then in the next 8, when they started winning, he didn't throw one till the Utah State game. And they didn't have a defense. They'll have a defense. But it looks like if you can get him off schedule, you can make him make mistakes. And that's a little nerve wracking to me, to be honest. Granted, he did have 19 rushing touchdowns. Holy crap. If he's on pace for another, say, 3,000, 1,000 season, he could really help BYU, help Utah, and he could be really good for the Utes if he's on pace to have a good season. But I also think we will see him come out, and I think we'll see him do good. Can they keep him from getting hurt? Can they keep him well protected so he doesn't have to run as much? The Mountain West, it's no joke, but it's nothing compared to the Big 12 and the type of hits he'll be taking, especially as a running quarterback. Um, we'll see how he does. I think he'll do good. And honestly, I think Utah's going to bounce back. Do I think they're going to compete? I'm not sure. I'm not going to count out Kyle Whittingham. Um, but I also don't know if we can automatically give them the say they're going to be the best team in the Big 12. So we'll see him. We'll watch him closely. Now Noah Fafita, this guy. Let's real quick be honest with this guy, with this for a sec. Noah Fafita is heading into his redshirt junior year, where he has had two different seasons, really. 2023, he was very, very good in touchdown to interception ratio. And that's what you want. You don't want a player who hurts you defensively. You don't want who hurts you when you're put who's a liability at quarterback. And so I don't know. I look at his deals real quick. Let's just go to um, his 2023 season. Actually, this year they went on literally a 5 game losing streak. 5 game losing streak where they played Texas Tech, who I think Texas Tech was like fourth or fifth. Um, like eighth in the league. Sorry, eighth. Then they got walloped by BYU, where he turned the ball over 3 times, and he had turned the ball over in every game before that. That's something that didn't happen much throughout the first year he was at quarterback. If we don't see an improvement, I think by mid-season they could kind of move on from him. But I also think he could move on from the program. They've said that he's very bought into the Utah program, into the Arizona program. But if we don't see improvement by him, I don't know how much the program will put into him, because you can't have 12 interceptions to 18 touchdowns. It doesn't work like that. And then, whereas you have Dampier, who also brings in the fact that he's a running QB, Fafita doesn't have that strength. Fafita, like, they didn't build to that strength. If you look at even 2023, where they literally played for the Big 12 conference. No, they didn't. I thought they did. That's right. It's she. I think it's she played for. I don't know who won. Oh, it was Washington, Oregon. That's right. Where literally they only lost to Washington and Caleb Williams. I'm not a big fan of Caleb Williams, to me, but they blew out Utah. They blew out ASU. Granted, ASU was bad. ASU was bad. Colorado was bad, and Utah was, I think at this point, Utah was going down to. Then Sawyer Robertson. This guy, my number one pick for player of the year in the Big 12. I think he's going to have an outbreak year, and I think it's going to be on his arm that Baylor could be a title contender because we look at what he did in real quick. Let's just look at what he did in 2020, 2024, real quick. Look at 24 stats, and he was mean. Granted, you have to remember he didn't play every game either. I think he started 2 games. He didn't start 2 games. Uh, Quinn Finn, Gwyn Finn or something was very much um, a contender for the job. Sawyer Robertson basically took it and said, "It's mine." And I think he's going to do that same thing this year and make it so Baylor has a really good season. And I'm glad that BYU doesn't see them this year, to be honest, because it's going to be a fight whenever we play them. Um, but Sawyer Robertson is that guy. He's good, and he's going to be good for a while. Anyways, that is it for today. As we look at tomorrow, we have 8 more quarterbacks that we're going to look at and that we're going to talk about. Each one of them having different strengths. I'm hoping that 2 are announced. I do believe one is on the verge of being announced. But if not, we're going to look at 2 quarterbacks from Colorado and 2 quarterbacks from BYU. Other than that, I do believe that they've all been at least set. If not, I think Oklahoma State and UCF are in QB battles. So we have 4 QB battles, and then 4 that are full downright good QBs. Arizona State is one of those. Trying to think. Arizona State, Houston with Wigman. Then I think we could be looking at a quarterback battle in West Virginia, maybe. Then 7. Who's the other? Kansas, who has had their quarterback for what seems to be 5 years now. And he's a good quarterback, just can you rely on him from getting hurt? Thank you all for watching. Hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe if you did. If you want to follow up with more or want to help me,